who's standing by with NRG's marksman.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. I am joined by Alltech after their amazing game over Team Solo Mid. Very touch and go all the way through. Alltech, you took a few weeks off for yourself. You came back. How happy are you with the team? NRG's first time in the split now, 5th place in the spring split.
I think we could have done maybe better because obviously we have a good roster and we all have high expectations for ourselves. But I mean, I'm pretty happy now that we're coming, we're, I guess, meshing a lot more because we're just learning, and we go out more than, like, for example, play solo queue, and it's just a more friendship thing now.
Definitely seeing all the pictures on social media of the food outings after games, after LCS weeks. Looking at how NRG has done this season and in that game, what's the communication like? It seems like it really pushed you guys to the limit, and at times, like I said, was touch and go. How did you find your way out of that one into the win?
We practiced a lot of kindred at least in scrims, and I guess when we never really like kind of fell behind early. So when we fell behind, we were kind of like, oh shit, like what do we do and stuff. But with Azir and Jhin and Morgana, like our poke and siege is really strong. So whenever even though we were behind, for example, we would always have like really good it doesn't matter because when they siege, then we can just kill them.
Easier said than done. You guys made it look pretty easy, though, towards the end of that game. Final question for you. After that game, somebody was going to face Team Liquid. Now it's going to be you at the playoffs. How do you feel about that matchup coming up?
I personally wanted to face Team Liquid. I would rather play TL over, I think, C9, was it? Yeah, so we're pretty happy. Obviously, we wanted to get 4th as well, but that's not on us, so.
Well, you guys definitely had a lot to go through for the year, ending up in 5th. Not a bad spot, and we'll be seeing you again next year. Right now, we're going to throw it to the analyst desk to break down some more and more games.
Thank you very much, Riv. That was
break it down.
Not planned. Not planned. Also, yeah, it wasn't that.
We're off script.
That was not expected.
Cross that out.
Yeah. Okay, great. Now that that's out of the way, let's break down some replays. Let's do this. We have a lot of replays to get through, so let's just pull up the first one, the final fight of the game. NRG not expected to come out with the victory here.
Holy moly here. Yeah, Svenskeren, this is when he went over the Baron. It looked like he surprised even TSM members with this, because then Yellowstar jumps in. Haunter was coming in from the back there, and at this point, it's everyone scramble.
Yeah, and
Look at this.
I love that GBM just walks into the ultimate of Moon and just shoves everybody out of it as Azir.
Yeah, multiple times he's able to do that, and then he just stands there with his soldiers, protected by his own
Very
ultimate.
valiant effort here by Doublelift to save the game.
Yeah, but Impact TP's in off of a minion. He's able to just clean up this fight, and even though they lose GBM, it's still enough.
Yeah, they run down the mid lane there.
That was one
Jhin
of many.
And Trundle damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of many. And so that's the final fight. We have to remember that allowed NRG to win the game, but they had an opportunity or were very close to ending the game not too long prior to that. We have that replay. This is TSM's defense in their own base as their Nexus is getting targeted.
Yeah, we're going in reverse chronological order, by the way. Just getting started here, people. Another crazy team fight. This one started off with Svenskeren using the ultimate to separate the team, but NRG regroup, focus down the turrets first, and then they end up in this situation where everyone gets on the Lamb's respite, and they kind of have a split call here. They don't all choose to focus the TSM member down. Half of them do the Nexus. They don't all choose to focus the Nexus, and TSM clean them up because TSM are focused on that. They all have one clear objective. It's try and kill these guys before our Nexus goes down. And those are the situations where, you know, focus firing and shot calling as far as picking the single target to focus on and take down is really important because you have the invulnerability of the Kindred ultimate and Azir, another really good GBM ultimate, by the way, pushing everyone on TSM off it. So you kind of clean off the Kindred ultimate and then try and focus people down, but they end up losing the fight because half the people go Nexus.
Yeah, they definitely could have actually won that fight. Doublelift was very low on HP, and during the duration of the Lamb's respite, he's actually life-stealing the entire time. Despite not getting people below a certain amount of HP, he's still life-stealing back up, and then he's just ready to take the fight afterwards. It's like, there's so many things there where if you had just turned on them, used the respite to actually deal damage, then, well, you probably would take the Nexus afterwards.
That wasn't even the beginning of the story, though.
Right. Well, yeah. Well, I mean, just to finish that point off, though, it makes you wonder whether or not they probably could have won the game either way. As back to your point, Kobe, which is that if they had clear, decisive shot calling in that moment, with all 5 members standing in the Lamb's respite in order to focus the Nexus.
We got 2 respites versus 1 respite here.
Yeah, you're outnumbered.
Yeah, man. Welcome to
but, you know, they would have had perhaps the time to just kill the Nexus while they have the invulnerability, and or, as you mentioned, Irene, they very well could have won that fight with the Baron buff. Wow.
I think that may have been the call, was for everyone to try and focus the Nexus from the safety of Lamb's respite.
Yeah.
You can say it both ways, by the
Right.
way. But Svenskeren was in there body slamming and keeping people out of range, so that's why only half of them could do it, and it got so tense right there.
Yeah.
But let's dive deeper, Dash.
Yes, we have one more replay to watch because, as Jat mentioned throughout the game, TSM had such commanding leads in that game, and it wasn't until this Baron fight happens that NRG even had the opportunity to come back into it.
Yeah, this is where Altec is the American sniper. One shot, misses this one, hits Bjergsen with that one, and then he hits double lift 2 more times and gets that big crit on him in the end. And you can see GBM shoves Bjergsen out of the Lamb's respite. He tries to flash back in, gets knocked back again, and that's where Moon and Altec are able to focus him off as GBM makes his escape to the right-hand side.
Yeah, that was another fight where TSM this time kind of scramble out all in different directions. And this time around, it's NRG with the clear focus in that fight. And NRG were able to pick off people. I have to say, Altec and GBM both, multiple times in these team fights, carried so well as a really, really threatening backline, and they were so accurate with combining their abilities.
Right, exactly. And ultimately, that fight allowed them to get the Baron. GBM staying up crucially with such a sliver of health so that they had the Azir DPS to make sure they could take that Baron down, allotted them the time to kind of farm up and get themselves through that game. So all in all, NRG coming away with the win, which means TSM is going to finish the regular season in 6th place. They now have to play Cloud9 of all teams, which even after today's showing for Cloud9 is still a very scary opponent.
It's I want to check their record really quickly against Cloud9. They actually went 1-1 against them, but TSM, it's definitely been a downhill kind of journey for them. They kind of had a little bit of progress at the start, and then coming back from IEM, they still seem like they don't have their feet completely under them. We expected a lot of growth from this squad, but now they're in 6th place, last playoff spot, and not only do they have to play Cloud9, if they beat Cloud9, they have to play Immortals. There's no way of getting out of that from the 6th place spot.
And here's the more imminent thing, is that it's really scary because the problems that we saw in this game from TSM were a lot about team fighting and coordinating those skirmishes and even the 5-on-5 full team fights. Cloud9 have been excellent in their early game skirmishes and their team fighting. That's how they've actually come back when they've been behind. You know, Jensen and Rush have had all these highlight plays in the skirmishes, and then the team as a whole has been team fighting really well. So just those 2 points actually might match up in favor of Cloud9, and TSM has to definitely work on that before playoffs.
Yeah, they've got a little bit of time to do so. This, of course, then means that NRG will be playing Team Liquid, who also they have a 1-1 record against. So another very interesting matchup for the quarterfinals of the playoffs. But coming up, we've got an extra helping of league action. Stay tuned for our tiebreaker match between Team Impulse and Renegades. We'll be right back.
Bonus games.
All play.
When you're okay?
Yeah,
You're not nervous?
I'm not nervous.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Not today.
Oh, here comes the engaged Svenskeren landing a slow explosive cast, knocks in 2, but they've got the ulti in from Kinder to buy some time. Jump over on a GBM, the packet makes that one pretty nice. Lamb's respite buys some time. Now how's the follow-up gonna be? A big knock comes through and means 2 kills. Snipes come in, double takes some damage. Now Yellow's gonna block it, double lift dies! He gets solo snipe going the wrong way!
Zoe, I'm on Puppy,
Cookie down! Yeah,
Puppy.
Hey, I have a TP,
Nice, we get better.
Here's the team fight. Azir with the knockback, doing plenty of damage, getting him off the Lamb's respite, but they're shut down! Double lift, holding on for dear life, and they've done it! A double kill for double lift! Now a 1 versus 3. Bjergsen, to save the season, goes in, trades 1 kill in. NRG takes down TSM.